Hi guys, welcome to Elemental Therapy YouTube channel. I'm Anya, and today I'd like to talk a little bit more about food, because we are what we eat. Our physical body is also called food-formed body. So the food of what we eat is directly translated into our flesh. And it's true that animals carry a more complicated informational code, and vegetables carry a simpler informational code. And it's also true that we should eat something that's as far away from us evolutionary as possible. So vegetables will be a better choice because our body can break it down easily. The simpler the code, the easier it is for our body to break it down. So we can assimilate it and it turns into our body. Meat stays in the system undigested and can turn into toxins. Basically, that's what's happening. And these toxins translate not only to our physical body, but also it affects our subtle vibrations. Plus, meat has a lower vibrational qualities than vegetables and fruits. However, there is a difference I want to note between food that's farmed and food that's grown. I remember once in Siberia, someone was hunting a bear, and they was cooking it, and they shared some with us, and we had some. And I had just a little bit, and I felt like a bear. I had so much energy. It was only one meal that I ate that day, and I was climbing mountains all day long without any fatigue, without any snacks, not needing anything. I was so strong. And I think because the meat, the flesh of the bear, actually, yes, it was carrying the code of that wild, powerful animal. And somewhat my body was able to break it down enough so I start to feel like a bear myself. Now that tells you that a pig, for example, or a cow that is grown in an environment of close to being a zombie, that's intoxicated with and medicated and fed dead food, is carrying that vibration. And the same thing, if you compare it to, let's say, a pig or a chicken or any other farmed animal that's kept in a better environment and fed better food, like it's free-ranged, completely free-ranged, like in the small farms, for example. Yet that chicken is still so much less powerful and so much has so much less vibrational quality as food as a wild bird. So and same goes with vegetables. If a cucumber, let's say, is grown in a hothouse, it never sees the sun, it's illuminated only by fluorescent lights, it only fed artificial fertilizers, and it's sprayed with massive amounts of pesticides, then it's like a zombified cucumber. So eating that vegetable compared to something that's grown maybe on your own little plot of land, where you put your own fertilizer as your own diluted pee, for example, that carries your code. And you know how vegetables, they can read your own code, and they produce fruit that's specifically designed for you to balance your body. So that food becomes really healing food. And this is where the value of growing your own food comes in play, and it can be replaced by anything. Nothing can be really better, except maybe for the wild plant. Wild plants and animals are such a part of universal ecosystem. They're so balanced, and they're so powerful, and their sort of informational vibrations so close to the source, the original source of, Garden of Eden, that to my mind would be the best food to eat, which will balance us back to that original state of wellness as we were designed from the very beginning. Because nature itself never changed, it pretty much stayed the same. it evolves to some degrees, but the foundation of it, I mean, we see species that have been around for millions of years and they're pretty much the same. So eating that zombified cucumber is no better than eating a chicken that was grown in a crowded environment and fed dead food, or a fish that was grown that was farmed and fed, again, dead food, instead of the ones that was harvested from the wild, and it was part of that universal ecosystem that is completely balanced. So this is where the vegetarians and vegans also have could have potential a problem, because it really depends where that vegetable come from and how it was grown. I know that vegetables are lower consciousness than animals, but still it's a consciousness, and still they carry the code. And if that code was affected by the environment and even by the seeds that they were grown from, then that food not particularly good for our body. You see, by design, wild plants, they're feeding on the energy of the sun and on the energy of the stars. So what magic they possess, we will never know. Just like we will never truly understand all the magic and all the informational codes of our own body, because that body was made by a higher consciousness, which is way beyond our mind, therefore our mind really cannot understand it. But in a greater scale, everything on this planet was made by a higher consciousness, so it doesn't matter how much people fuck with it, it's still has the original roots in that primordial creation. So really talking about eating this or eating that will make us sick, well, yeah, to some degree, but really in a higher scale, it doesn't really matter what you eat. What's more important is, I think, what you think about yourself and how you feel and how you connect, and your ability to connect to that higher consciousness. I think truly that's what would keep you healthier than worrying constantly about what you eat. In fact, followers of left-handed tantra in India, they eat feces and they are completely healthy. So that proves that really doesn't really matter what you eat. And the philosophy behind this practice is that there is nothing unclean in the universe, and everything is seen as emanation of that great consciousness. Coming back to the wild foods, and coming back to the state of original perfection, I wrote a book about how to utilize wild plants in the diet, because I do believe that they are the source of the healthiest possible way to eat. The book is called Food Under Your Feet, and it describes the wild plants. Most of them are invasive weeds, and also I give cooking recipes. So hopefully it will inspire you to use more wild plants in your diet. And let me know how it works for you. And thank you very much for joining me for this talk. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And also there's a link to the free download of the book also below. You can click download it and let me know what you think about it. Thank you for your attention. I hope to see you soon. Bye.